Yesterday, I had one of my very first teaching placements at a primary school where I got to observe, help, and instruct some year 1s and 2s. Now in Australia, a year 1 or a year 2 is about 7 or 8 years old. They were a lot of fun, they were very nice, considerate kids, and they weren't the most mature, but I think this argument between Martin Rios and Nalewanyj is even less mature than the 8-year-old I helped teach how to read. Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. We're back with Martin Rios this time. I have made a video on his brother Mario Rios in the past. By the way, if you're going to have twins, don't give them names that sound the same. Why would you do that to them? Anyway, he has come across the path of Nalewanyj, a very old school bodybuilder in the fitness space. He's been around for over 10 years. He combines evidence-based thinking with experience and logic and common sense, which is not done enough sometimes among science-based lifters, which is why he is the absolute GOAT. Meanwhile, Martin and Mario Rios promote this athletic bodybuilding where you use more free weights, you do less stable exercises for the goal of building a more aesthetic physique, and to do exercises that may or may not cross over better into athletics. We're going to be responding to the reaction video of the reaction video of the reaction video. Anyway, let's get started.
If you don't know who I am, my name is Martin Rios, but my friends call me Marvin Ruffles. I have a Bachelor of Science in Exercise Science, and I'm a certified strength and conditioning coach. And in this video, I'll be reacting to Shane Nalewanyj's reaction to me, and explaining why I believe you should change your workout routine every 4 to 6 weeks, and not use the same routine for an extremely long period of time.
Okay, so this entire drama, series of videos is predicated on them arguing over if you should change your workout routine every 4 to 6 weeks. I've already seen Sean's shorts on this. He says you should basically maintain the same routine for an extended period of time, and Martin thinks you have to change things up every 4 to 6 weeks to confuse the muscle or because variation is good, and variation is good. Anyway, what is my take on this? Should you change exercise every 4 to 6 weeks? No, you just should not. Let me explain why. You see, when you get stronger at exercise, that can be because of one of 2 types of adaptations that can occur. Muscular adaptations, which is what you want. It's when the muscle that you trained got bigger, and that's why you could produce more force. But there's also number 2, which is neural adaptations. Your brain can learn to fire your muscles more efficiently, thus allowing you to produce more force and recruit more motor units. The problem with changing your exercise every 4 to 6 weeks is that in those first 4 to 6 weeks, most of your progress is probably going to come from neural adaptations. You yourself in the gym, I'm sure we've all swapped out our exercises on occasion, and I'm sure that you've noticed that when you do a new bicep curl variation, you progress in it really quickly in the start, and then after that it kind of plateaus. And the reason for that is because at the start, you were developing more neural adaptations. And whereas towards the end, when you're only adding maybe a rep a week, you were producing more muscular adaptations. This doesn't mean you can't grow muscle changing exercise every 4 to 6 weeks. Truthfully, as long as you train to failure, you build muscle. However, it can become a problem when you're trying to track your progress. You can't really figure out if you've plateaued or not if, again, you're constantly changing exercises. It's more about tracking progression and making sure you're on the right path and making sure that the progress that you do have in your logbook isn't just from the novel stimulus of the new exercise you started doing last week. I would say for the most part, keep your exercises the same. Only change an exercise when you either A, start to feel pain from it, i.e. joint pain, tendon pain, etc. Number 2, you just stop enjoying the exercise and you find it miserable to gruel over those 3 sets and you'd much rather mix it up, which is perfectly fine. Or number 3, you simply stop progressing.
Jeffrey mentioned in his upper body workout routine video that he used the same workout routine for 1 year straight. This is a terrible idea, and you should switch your workout every 4 to 6 weeks. Training variation is a great way to prevent physical stagnation as your body becomes accustomed to the routine, and mental stagnation because you won't get bored doing the same routine.
So if your goal is muscle atrophy rather than hypertrophy, then Marvin Ruffles here is a great source of information. But if you actually want to make real gains, then no, you don't want to be constantly changing your program. If you're stalling out that often, it's not because your body magically adapted and stopped responding, it's because you don't know how to program or how to train, or both. Mixing things up every few weeks is actually one of the worst approaches because you can't accurately track progressive overload, since it'll be harder to separate out whether the strength increases are from actual muscle growth or just from the improved central nervous system efficiency you get when you perform a new movement.
Nalewanyj pretty much just nailed it in the coffin right there. He pretty much explained what I just explained, but in a far better, more fluent and expressive manner. Let's see how Mr. Rios responds to Sean Nalewanyj's video.
So first, Shane claims that I apparently say that you should change your workout routine every 4 to 6 weeks because you're plateauing. I never said that you should change your workout routine every 4 to 6 weeks because you're plateauing. I said that you should do this to prevent plateaus. Now, why do I say this? I do this because your body and your nervous system become adapted to the workout you're doing, aka repeated exposure leads to diminishing returns.
Your nervous system adapts to the specific movements you do. For example, again, like I said before, if you do the same bicep curl variation for a while, your nervous system is learning the pattern, it's mapping the movement, and that's why you see a lot of progress when you start a new exercise. However, again, that's a lot of nervous system adaptations. If your goal is hypertrophy, then you're going to actually want to keep that exercise, because once you slow down, once you're only adding a rep here and there, that means the adaptations you are making, the strength increase that you're seeing, is from muscular adaptations and not from your nervous system. You should not be plateauing on your gains from doing the same exercise for 6 weeks. You just shouldn't be. If you can't do an exercise for more than 6 weeks and still see progress, that probably means you're doing something wrong, and the only reason you were seeing progress in the first place was because of those very quick central nervous system adaptations.
A 2022 study titled "Does Varying Resistance Exercises Promote Superior Muscle Hypertrophy and Strength?" It states, the available studies indicated that varying exercise selection can influence muscle hypertrophy and strength gains. Some digress that systemic variation should be approached systematically with a focus on applied anatomical and biomechanical constructs. On the contrary, employing different exercises that provide a redundant stimulus as well as an excessive rotation of exercises may actually hinder muscular adaptations. So essentially they found that exercise variation can influence gains.
The study just said, and I repeat, on the contrary, employing different exercises that provide a redundant stimulus as well as an excessive rotation of exercises, may actually hinder muscular adaptations. The study is straight up saying if you keep changing your exercises out, aka rotating them around every few weeks, that will hinder muscular adaptations. The study he just cited proves him wrong. It straight up says he's wrong. You have a bachelor's degree. But yeah, variation's a good thing. No one wants to do the same thing every time. No one wants to get the same delicious and sexy, caramel latte. Sometimes you want a chocolate latte or a vanilla latte if you're boring, right? You don't want to have the same thing over and over again. For example, in a workout routine, instead of only doing one type of vertical pull, like a neutral grip pull-up, maybe on the second pull day of the week, you do a pronated grip pull-up to hit the muscles of the back in slightly different ways. If you swap out exercises and you're going to failure, you can still grow. But like Sean said in his previous video, it's a lot harder to track progressive overload. A lot of people plateau in their gym progress and they simply don't know they've plateaued because they don't keep track of their weights, of their reps, how many steps they're doing, all that stuff. And you don't keep track for a very long period of time. It's very easy to plateau and not realize it. But the point is, Sean is right, Martin Rios is wrong. And if you want me to react to more of Martin Rios's epic hot takes, let me know in the comment section down below. Go subscribe to Sean Nalewanyj. He makes excellent gym content, even if his upload schedule is absolutely atrocious. Give Martin Rios a follow too. I think most of his content's pretty solid, especially if you're an athlete. Anyway, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video. Goodbye, everybody. Kitty! Say hi to the viewers, Luna. Say hi. You don't want to say hi? She doesn't want to say hi, guys. She's a bit upset because Kaya Mintz stopped uploading regular content for a few months, and she's upset with him. She's giving him the silent treatment. But today, boys, girls, and non-binary individuals, we're going to react to some of Kaya Mintz's new content after he's been on a hiatus for about, I think, a couple of months. He's finally started uploading regular posts again, so we're going to check out some of his gym-related posts to see if we can learn anything from it. Let's get started.
40-pound deadlift? I actually have a pretty sizable deadlift, which may surprise you. Deadlift is one of those movements that you can always rely on.
We're starting off with more rage bait. This is why we love our boy Kaya Mintz. The rage bait is always funny. Starting off with his grip, he is using a mixed grip, which isn't actually a bad idea. A lot of powerlifters use a mixed grip where one hand is pronated, the other hand is supinated, and it helps to lift more weight without having to use straps. So if you're doing an unequipped deadlift, it can definitely be a good grip in your arsenal. I personally just use a regular grip, but mixed grip can definitely work.
But not gonna lie, it's not my favorite.
On his weird 3D Smith machine that moves freely, so it kind of defeats the point of a Smith machine. Also, So it's obviously way too narrow, which just makes things really awkward. I don't know what he's trying to do here, but definitely too narrow. And he's probably using a big too much of his back when you do a deadlift. The first half of a deadlift, right, is like a squat. So you grab the bar, you pull the slack out of the bar, and you kind of squat it up for the first half, and then you hinge for the top half.
There are honestly way better upper back movements than this one in my normal go-tos, but to each their own. I ended up going for a PR this session, which I did actually end up achieving.
His form is kind of like dragging the bar up, because truthfully, he actually probably can lift more than this. He's just rage baiting. As for if this is the perfect upper back exercise, it's not. There are definitely more optimal exercises for the upper back. The deadlift is good at building up all of that little small muscles, like the lats, the rhomboids, rear delts. It's good at building up all those muscles and your like lower back, I don't know if you can see them, lower back erectors. It's good at building up all of those a little bit, but it's not particularly good at building up any one particular muscle, which is why a lot of people will recommend that you do a lot of isolations too. I still think it has a place in a bodybuilding routine, but it can't be the only thing you do. You do have to put in some isolations or some other compound lifts afterwards.
Updated max bench. I've actually been off the bench for a bit now, as my shoulder's been pretty crunchy on my right side. This is my first day testing it again, not chasing numbers here, just trying to see how I feel. And since I'm basically starting from zero again, I'm only running incline from now on, because most people who train exclusively incline still get identical mid and lower chest growth, but way more upper pec.
He's referring to a single study that was done a while ago, which I've mentioned before as well, which talks about how they compared flat bench to incline bench, and they found that they both produced the same lower and mid chest growth, but the incline bench produced more upper chest growth. We also know that more shoulder flexion might be better for the upper pecs, which is when you're pressing with a more narrow path. Ultimately, there's a lot of mechanistic and physiological reasons for why a flat bench with a more flared arm path might be better for the mid chest, but it is completely up to you. You can do incline, you can do flat. As long as you're doing at least some flat and some incline movements, you're probably covering all your bases.
If I could go back, I would warm up properly every time, like treating internal and external rotation like it's the most important lift of the session, because once your shoulders go, everything else kind of stops mattering.
Alright, that was not his max bench. He didn't max out at all, but if he has a shoulder injury, it's fair enough. As for the rotation thing, it's a good idea to train internal and external rotation. Just use a cable. Don't be that one guy who has like dumbbells and they're just doing this. Like gravity acts downwards, mate, but it doesn't do anything. Anyway, let's move on to the final video.
Dieting is not as hard as you think.
It is. Dieting is hard because we all have cravings and weight loss is a slow process. So you have to hold off from those cravings for like months at a time, which is why dieting can be difficult. It's simple but hard. A calorie deficit is a pretty simple concept to understand, but actually doing it in real life is very difficult. The way you can help get a calorie deficit is by eating foods with more volume for less calories, eating more vegetables, eating higher protein to keep you full, amongst other methods as well.
Especially when you understand that you don't have to follow all those super high water diet rules.
High water diet rules. You don't drink a lot of water if you're on a diet. You drink a lot of water because it's sort of important for the human body. I think you need at least like 2 or 3 liters a day for optimal health. But also, I do like these protein shakes. They look very tasty. Unfortunately, we don't have them in Australia, which makes my heart a little bit, but it's okay. We have those like 27 grams of sugar Rockaberry protein drinks, which actually taste pretty good, so I can't complain.
I personally can't stand how plain normal water is, so it's just not an enjoyable drink. And I'm not alone. Even big streamers like Asmongold have primarily switched to drinking soda.
Just drink water, and it's not that hard. Obviously, this entire video is rage bait. Obviously. Him trying to lose weight when he's skinnier than me. I'm not that big, but, you know, like, him trying to lose weight and not liking water is obviously all rage bait. But it actually can be still, because of how low calorie they are, a very good way to suppress your appetite throughout the day. But anyway, boys and girls, that is the end of this video right here. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe for more. I'll be making a video on Kaya Mince's roommates next up, so subscribe for that. But for now, I want to thank you all very much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye, everybody. absolutely ruined his credibility, folks. The anabolic stick, an absolute legend, has made a video analyzing why Jeff Nippard is a fraud. That's right, this man right here is a fraud, and all the comments agree with him. But wait, Nerdy Ann, I thought you said that Jeff Nippard was the GOAT. Well, apparently not, because he's arguing that Hussein Farhat and Julian, the 19-year-old Ronnie Coleman, are natural. Look at his arms, training for 2 years, his arms, training for 2 years, and Jeff Nippard, training for 20 years. That's longer than this guy has been alive. This guy in particular, Julian, he is 19. Now this is him next to Larry Wheels. He is 19. That's my age, where most kids who are 19 in the gym look like me. They have some muscle, but they're still kind of thin. That's most people who are lean and have some muscle under the age of 20 who are male. But this guy is 19, training for almost the same amount of time as me, and is almost bigger than Larry Wheels, and is already bigger than our boy Jeff Nippard and Hussein Farhat, who has been training for, again, 2.5, 3 years, and looks like this. He went from this, scrawny, skinny, and here, an absolute Chad who does get bitchy. But let me tell you something, folks. They claim to be natural. They claim that they have made this transformation within 2 or 3 years without taking steroids. In Hussein Farhat's case, he is famous for making this transformation, and he has many posts on his Instagram about this. He is famous for making this transformation really, really quickly. Almost every single video he posts is about his transformation. It's about how to build muscle just like him, even though after a few years they're already bigger than Jeff Nippard, somebody who also has elite genetics but has been training for 20 years naturally. Well, Jeff is in some drama for defending these people because he claimed in his video that he believes these two are natural because of one blood test. I was originally going to react to this video, but I thought it'd be kind of boring, so instead we're going to be watching this YouTube Shorts comment section. He posted this a few days ago defending Hussein Farhat and Julian's natural status, saying that he tested them and there are many other people who look less muscular than him but have higher testosterone. And the video itself is perfectly fine. There's no bad information in this short specifically, but the comments are furious for Mr. Nippard defending the fake natties. Now, what do I think? What do I think? Do I think this guy is natural? 2 years of lifting, he's ridiculously shredded. I think he's like 170 pounds lean, claiming to have built 40 plus pounds of muscle in the span of 2 or so years. Do I think he's natural? No! I usually remain impartial in these videos. I don't really cover his natural status because I don't want to say something just on the off chance that maybe he's natural. But there's also this guy, Julian. Look at him. Let's go to his Instagram account right now. Look at him. How can he possibly... Look at his arms! Let's look up Ronnie Coleman natural. Ronnie Coleman natural. This is Ronnie Coleman when he was still apparently natural in his mid to late 20s. And here is Julian, almost 10 years younger, with significantly less training experience, and apparently he has arms bigger than the guy who has the best genetics we have ever seen in the history of bodybuilding. So no, I don't believe he's natural. But let's read some of the comments to see, by the way, excellent music taste, to see what you guys think. Isn't it lovely that every superstar natural fitness influencer who has all the money in the world to gain from sponsorships, courses, and coaching happens to have 1 in a billion genetics for muscle building, which we have no substantive data on? This comment is highlighting that we actually have no clue what is possible naturally. We have a rough idea. We know that elite Ronnie Coleman, this obviously is not possible naturally, but we have no clue exactly what elite level genetics can get you, because genetics are a massive spectrum. You could train for a few years and look like this, or you could train for a few years and look like this. He's still quite jacked. I don't know why he comes up when I Google pencil neck. Like this! You can look like this after years of training. And yes, the comment here makes a really good point. If we go on Hussein's Instagram, we can see coaching. He has a coaching business. Of course he does. He has this coaching business. He makes probably most of his money, and he has said this in several videos of his, from his coaching business. He has all the motivation in the world to lie about his natural status. The way that the fitness scene works is your transformation, your physique is what sells courses. That is why people lie about their steroid use. People are less likely to buy their courses, to do their coaching, because they will see them as frauds. They will see them as only being big because of their steroid use and not because of anything else. As for Jeff Nippard being a fraud for defending them, I don't think he's a fraud. I think what he did was he tried to find hardcore evidence that they were natural or that they weren't natural, and unfortunately Jeff could not find the evidence. He could not find any hardcore evidence from drug tests that Hussein or Julian are natural. Now again, it is very easy to dodge a single blood test, but because Jeff Nippard could not find any hardcore proof that these two are fake natties, he decided to take their word for it. Number one, to be a bit politically correct, to not potentially falsely accuse someone, but number two, so he can keep collaborating with these guys, because Hussein has an incredible following, 2.7 million followers, a lifetime natural. They post so much content about how they're natural, right? It's all they're known for. They make so much money off of it. Hussein has made videos about the new Lamborghini he bought from the money he made from social media. They have so much to gain from lying. As someone like Jeff, who claims to be a science lifter and normally does really good research, I'm disappointed in his latest videos, because not only are they incredibly misleading, but they also create a misperception of what is attainable naturally and what isn't. I do kind of agree, obviously he's been promoting that Hussein and this other guy are natural, and not this guy, this guy. This is not achievable naturally, and if it is, it's literally 1 in 8 billion. Yeah, probably not. Watching Jeff endorse these fake natties was not on my 2025 bingo card. It wasn't on my bingo card either. Man is progressively overloading his career digging. How to lose all your credibility in a minute speedrunning. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. That is my thoughts on the Jeff Nippard, Hussein Farhat controversy. I do not believe these two guys are natural, not even a little bit. I do believe that Hussein and this guy are lying for money and clout. That is my genuine opinion. That's the end of this video right here. I hope you enjoyed this more ranty style of video. But thank you guys for watching, and I will see you all in the next video. Goodbye, everybody. Guys, wake up! It is like 9 a.m. where I live right now, and holy crap, Hussein Farhat has officially been confirmed to be a fake natty, which was very obvious to everybody. But here we have Jeff Nippard discussing the incredibly disappointing allegations. I'll go ahead and take my big fat L for defending Hussein. If Jeff Nippard even defended him and made an entire video about how technically Hussein Farhat's physique is naturally achievable. He made many videos defending Hussein. I've been defending him for a couple of months now, and unfortunately for Mr. Nippard, despite making a very objectively good video on what is achievable naturally and properly addressing the controversy, which is something that a lot of people with his 7.5 million subscribers wouldn't do, but the reality is it doesn't matter, because Hussein has been confirmed to be on gear all of this time by Greg Doucette himself, his biggest backer and his biggest supporter. Let's read the comment. It turns out that Hussein was actually on a 16-month cycle when he first joined the gym, involving a lot of steroids as well, MK677, and then hopped off and has a certain type of polymorphism that allows him to keep all of his gains. But I was not a part of it. I did not know that he had done this for the first 16 months of his lifting career. So polymorphism, if you don't know, is this really weird thing, that genetic thing, where apparently it means that you can go on steroids like our Hussein Farhat over here, and even when you come off the steroids, you can still keep and then grow a lot of the muscle. Now, this might be a real genetic condition. I'm pretty sure it is real, but I think what's more likely is that Hussein is still on at least some kind of steroid. Even if it's just TRT, I still believe he's on something to maintain his gains. I don't think it's likely that he's on this polymorphism thing, and who knows, maybe Greg Doucette exposing him is all a big stunt, because if you go on Hussein's Instagram, he's like openly talking about it and being like, well, I guess the truth is out now, and as Brody Shred says, W rage bait. What was really interesting was that in this video, Hussein openly says at the start of the video about how he played Greg. Come on, YouTube, these bloody ads. Hussein admits that he did this all along for the purposes of getting views and money. He straight up admits his true intentions in this video. It's all all rage bait. I would suspect that Greg is in on it. I don't know. I don't really care. But the point is, yes, Hussein Farhat is not natural. I am not disappointed. I do feel sorry for Jeff Nippard, though. He went to a lot of effort to defend this guy just to get completely screwed over by him and completely blindsided. I'm assuming the backlash is going to be massive, so I will obviously keep staying in tune. But anyway, obviously, very, very quick, unedited video. I just wanted to get my thoughts out. But yeah, that's the news. Thank you guys for watching. If you thought he was natural in the comment section down below, personally, I never did. Subscribe for more news like this and other kind of videos, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye, everybody. Holy moly, guacamole! How Jeff Nippard tried to destroy my career. Hussein Farhat, he just can't stop lying. He just cannot stop lying. He cannot stop with the drama because he knows the only reason he is famous is because no one believes he's a fake natty, and he is milking the trend. He is milking it like an absolute milker, just like how I milk the Jack's Fit videos. Absolutely milk. This is basically Hussein Farhat in a nutshell. This is Hussein Farhat. He's a milker. Whatever this is basically him in a nutshell. If you don't know, Hussein Farhat is a very famous influencer at the moment for making this absolutely ridiculous, I know it's very low quality, sorry, ridiculous transformation going from this to this in only 2 or 3 years. And guess what? Nobody believes he's natural, but Jeff Nippard made multiple videos basically defending him, basically talking about how in this first video he made about how he may be natural and how you can train in certain ways to look like you're enhanced even if you are natural. And then people got upset with Jeff Nippard because they said, how could you ever say he was natural? He's clearly not natural. Jeff Nippard, you are a doofus. In response, he made this video talking about how to spot a fake natural, where he talks about how he does believe Hussein Farhat and even Julian Fitzgerald, which I don't really know how anyone can believe he's natural, but how those two are natural because if you look at their FMIs, they do actually have naturally achievable results. Their physiques are technically naturally achievable. The only problem is the time span they achieved it in. So after Jeff Nippard busted his ass to prove that Hussein Farhat is natural, he posted this video coming out the truth, where he talks about how he's always been on steroids all along and how he is now exposing himself for the masses. But this video was all a massive troll. It was him pretending to come out about how he is on steroids, and at the end of the video he goes, haha, I am going after the haters, man. The haters don't believe I'm natural. I'm making this video to troll you guys to prove that they're wrong somehow. And it was a really, really silly, really stupid, really pathetic publicity stunt done by him and Greg Doucette. It was very low maturity, and it was very disappointing to see these two absolutely fall from grace. After that, the entire internet responded, including Jeff Nippard, who, after defending him, decided, you know what, I can't trust him anymore. After this stunt, I unfortunately can't trust him. So he made this Instagram post saying, incredibly disappointing. I guess this is where you all get to say, I told you so. I'll go ahead and take my big fat L for defending Mr. Farhat. It was a very disappointing time. Jeff Nippard took the L like an absolute champ. But then, very, very recently, Hussein posted this video. How Jeff Nippard tried to destroy my career, where he tries to throw Jeff Nippard under the bus. He tries to say that Jeff Nippard's Instagram post was him trying to ruin Hussein Farhat's credibility, that Jeff Nippard knew it was a prank all along and that Jeff Nippard is betraying his trust. And it's just another really fake, really obvious publicity stunt done by Hussein. I don't think anyone's gonna believe him. It has nowhere near the amount of views the original video had. I don't think anybody really cares anymore. Regardless, I thought this was very, very disappointing to see him just keep digging the hole deeper, keep trying to use this drama he completely made up to try and get more views and engagement. It's absolutely pathetic in my opinion. It shows an insane lack of maturity from Mr. Farhat. I'm gonna play a small clip from his video right now talking about the conversation he had with Jeff allegedly before he released his troll video.
Essentially, Jeff DM'd Greg and asked him, were you being sarcastic in this comment because everybody thinks that you were being serious? To which Greg replied, we're waiting for the video to come out on Saturday.
Me and Hussein posted a 20-minute video. It'll be very interesting to see how the world reacts to the video. And I don't want to say anything more about the video. I just wanted to put some testers and feelers out on what people are going to say, and hopefully everyone in the industry reacts to it, and then we can make more videos reacting to those videos reacting.
Then Jeff said, so wait, did he actually cycle? If so, I'll need to publicly retract my statements because I've been putting a lot of my own reputation on the line for it. Greg told him,
so in the video, but don't tell anyone, in the video, we're gonna come out and say that he took a bunch of stuff. And then I'm gonna say, yeah, it's this polymorphism thing that allowed him to keep all his gains. I would say at the end of the video, 50% of people will be like, this is a joke. And then 50% will say, I knew it. Or they'll watch the first 2 minutes and not watch the full video. So you don't need to retract anything. Let me just leave it at that.
Now, this conversation doesn't actually prove that Jeff was in on it. It just proves that he knew it was a prank, but he was not in on the prank. He was simply told about it beforehand, and he was basically given an early advance notice that he was going to be disappointed. Overall, it's just another really publicity stunt. This is the last I will be covering of Hussein in a while, because I do think this situation is absolutely pathetic and insane lack of maturity from Mr. Farhat. But anyway, that is the end of this video right here. Hopefully, this is the last drama video I have to make in a while. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed, like, comment, and subscribe for more. Back to our regularly scheduled programming in the next video. Goodbye, everybody.